Welcome back everyone, and this is the Salt Tower, the upper part of the Salt Tower, built 1240, and this is a really interesting room, this, because inside here is some graffiti, or a piece of graffiti, of a very interesting man. Anyone that's been on the page for a while, you would have seen this before last time at Halloween, when Hew Draper, who was a warlock or a reputed warlock, featured in a video. Hew Draper of Bryanston made this sphere the 30th day of May, Anno Domini 1561. So he was imprisoned in the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. When Hew Draper of Bristol dated his sphere, he had been at the tower for just over 14 months, accused of sorcery. In the same month, the lieutenant reported that Draper was very sick. The sphere is surrounded by signs of the zodiac. The grid on the left shows the planetary influence over every hour of every day of the week. Hew Draper, interestingly enough, disappeared from the tower without trace. Either because he died and they just didn't record it and they buried him in the chapel or the chapel graveyard outside Peter Vincula. But some say, or believed at the time, he was a warlock and he magicked himself away. More than likely, as he was quite a wealthy man, so he could have bribed his way out, but that would have been risky for the guards if they got caught. And this one here, number 7, this globe may have been carved by Hew Draper, the astrologer, who carved an astrological calendar, which you can see to the right of the doorway, which is what we've just seen. This globe is possibly by Hew Draper as well. But there's graffiti all over here, all over the walls, where these people were imprisoned, because this was, apart from a royal palace, it was a prison as well. J. Lyon, 1574. It's crazy, isn't it? And a lot of the people that were imprisoned here never came out, so... Barrister 1577, warder. Warder may stand for warder of the tower. And of course, warders, beefeaters, whatever you want to call them, broke the law like everyone else, and there's some pretty nasty punishments for them when they did that. One was called the cell or chamber of little ease, which is a room. It's a tiny little box in which you can either sit down or lay down, but you more or less have to remain crouched. And in the Tudor times, there was a prisoner here. She was a woman, I can't remember what her name was, but she seduced one of the young yeomen, and he helped her to escape. She was a right horrible piece of work, a murderess and everything. And he helped her to escape. She was recaptured and brought back and chained to the floor. But that young man was put into the chamber of little ease, and they hung him over the battlements of the tower, the White Tower, as a warning to everyone else, other yeoman orders not to do that. So. If they didn't catch the hint with that one, then they soon did. In those days, you didn't have magazines and things like that, so a lot of the prisoners passed their time by carving these inscriptions. Henry Clark in the year 1553, Jesus Christ in Latin. Edward Hurst, 1587, January the 24th, guard of MM, wrote this. Michael Moody was accused of trying to murder Elizabeth I and has himself left an inscription on the opposite wall. Hew Draper of Bristow, 27th day of January 1560 something. Draper, an innkeeper from Bristol, was accused of sorcery. He left a detailed astrological carving nearby. Yeah, there are a couple of assassination attempts on Elizabeth I, bless her little cottons. Mostly Catholics, that Jesuits that revered and loved the memory of Queen Mary, her sister, and wanted Catholicism brought back to England, which unfortunately wasn't going to happen in the reign of Elizabeth I, that is. It turned us with the most interesting one, which is Hew Draper, innkeeper of Bristol. Join me for the next part.